My husband's brother, 35, his wife, 26, and two boys, preschooler and toddler, moved in with me and my husband, both 30, last month because they got evicted. I never wanted them here in the first place due to past issues, but after speaking with my husband, we decided to give them a place to stay for the sake of the young children. Before they moved in, we set some ground rules, such as my brother-in-law must be actively job searching, respect our space, and clean up after themselves. Unfortunately, in the past month, they've begun slowly destroying my home and space without caring one bit. First of all, my sister-in-law is an extremely picky eater, so their family doesn't eat with us. Fine, but they never clean up after themselves, constantly leaving dirty dishes, pans, crumbs, and food stains. When I tell them to clean up after themselves, they begrudgingly do, but it's never a job well done. Last week, one of the boys had peed on my very expensive couch, which I only learned about after, smelling urine while watching TV. Sister-in-law is stay-at-home, but she's more like stay in her room, doing God knows what, while her two children run rampant around my house. In the last 3 weeks, her boys have 1. Colored on their bedroom walls, 2. Trashed my living room with their toys, 3. Knocked over half of my plant collection. Their whole families turned my house into a zoo while contributing nothing. I've not been able to comfortably live in my own space for the past few weeks. My husband sensed my frustration, so he told me he'd talk with them and hire a maid to clean our house. Things got a little better until yesterday. I got home early from work, and their family was gone. Good, peace and quiet for a few hours. I decided to take a nap in our bedroom, only to find that my precious vase that my mother handmade for me was shattered on the ground. I lost my mom when I was a teen, and it was one of the last handmade items I have from her. I immediately knew it was the boys because there were toys inside my room, and their tablet was on my bed. I was so angry. I ended up calling my husband, explaining the situation, and telling him they would not stay another day in our house. No questions asked. Then I went around the house picking up their dirty clothes, toys, papers, etc., and threw them outside on our lawn. When they came back, there was a huge confrontation between me and them. I listed all the disrespectful things they'd done and that I wanted them off my property by midnight because they'd met none of the conditions outlined when they first moved in. I called their kids untrained dogs. They screamed back, calling me heartless, cruel, and evil, saying I'd make them homeless. Well, they did end up leaving after I threatened to call the cops. My husband is fully on my side, but I can tell he feels a little bad. Mother-in-law called me upset, asking me to take them back in after I forced them to sleep in their car last night. Am I the idiot? No, you're not the idiot. If mother-in-law's concerned, she can take them or buy a motel room. They've crapped all over your hospitality, and it's no coincidence they were gone when you got home. They knew breaking that vase was going to be bad news. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I can see why they were evicted from their last place. Oh dear, is there an artisan who might repair the vase or create something from the pieces? Maybe you could use some pieces in a mosaic frame around a picture of you and your mom. I'm so sorry it happened. Mother-in-law can take them in. Being family doesn't entitle anyone to no boundaries and destruction of property. They don't seem capable of managing their lives or making an effort to do so. They're definitely incapable of managing their lives, never mind raising 2 young children. I've seen enough. And their relationship? Oh, trust me, that's a whole other story. They actually started dating when sister-in-law was only 19, but were on and off until 29-year-old brother-in-law knocked her up. She has her problems, but brother-in-law definitely took advantage of a vulnerable young woman. Unfortunately, though, mother-in-law can't take them in because she lives on the East Coast and we live on the West. I do not want to pay for their bus fare now. Also, mother-in-law is poor and lives in a 1-bedroom apartment my husband bought for her. 0 room for them. I definitely wish she could take them in, but it's very improbable. Mother-in-law's berating you after your husband bought her an apartment? The entitled brother didn't fall far from the tree. Maybe they thought if they made themselves unbearable, they'd get an apartment too. I actually feel sad for the sister-in-law. She probably became a mom when she wasn't ready for it at all. I wouldn't be surprised if your sister-in-law had been depressed for a long time. My friend Alice, 32 female, and her husband have been trying for a baby for about 3 years. I, 29 female, am child-free, but this has never caused a problem in my relationship with Alice. We would often joke about this difference, with me telling her stuff like she'll miss all the disposable income when she has kids, and her comparing my dog to a human kid. Neither of us got offended by this joking, and it was all in good fun. On Friday, Alice, a couple of other friends, and I went out to lunch, and Alice told us that she was 3 months pregnant. I jokingly said, "I'm so sorry. Let me know if you need a ride to the clinic." Alice flipped out and called me an insensitive witch. I told her that I was joking, but she wouldn't hear it, and she ended up leaving. She has yet to respond to my texts and calls ever since. Our other friends are staying out of it and don't want to give their opinions. I understand that my comment would come off as rude if I said it to a stranger, but Alice knows me, and this is how we joke with each other. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. How old are you? Not everything is a joke. She's tried for a baby for years, and you couldn't give her a moment of earnest support and congratulations? FYI, if she struggled with infertility for 3 years and you didn't hear about this pregnancy until 3 months, she's likely had a loss or a chemical pregnancy you didn't know about. Even if that's not the case, she has almost certainly spent the last couple of months scared this pregnancy won't make it. Of all the jokes you could make, that one was the worst. Dude, I don't want kids. I've got a warped sense of humor, and even I think you're an idiot for that comment. They've been trying for 3 years. 3? That's a time when you're supposed to support and be happy for your friend, not make a lame joke. OP, you probably just lost a friend. She didn't joke. She was insensitive. She could have just mentioned, "Sorry you just lost your disposable income," or "Sorry for your future loss of sleep," or maybe, "When can I introduce the baby to my dog so they can have play dates? My puppy will have a cousin." Those are jokes. The other one was simply being oblivious and insensitive. There were so many sweet things she could have said that were supportive. When did we stop saying congratulations when friends get what they hope for? When was it decided that we could make cruel jokes to our friends because of banter? When did we collectively decide that others deserve to be crapped on because their perfectly legal and moral wants don't match our own? And can we get to a place where this doesn't happen? Please? Exactly. OP, you need to seriously work on yourself because what you did is not okay. How would you feel if the next time you talked about something your dog did that frustrated you, she said something like, "Well, that settles it. Time for euthanasia"? You wouldn't appreciate it. I think this friendship is over because you've proven that you're not supportive of her choice to be a parent. I, 27 male, am getting married in the fall to my fiance, 25 female, and we've decided that friends and family can bring their kids, since for the most part, the kids are well behaved and will be with the sitter for the night so the parents can enjoy the festivities. The only exception is my cousin Linda's daughter, Carrie. Linda's entitled and selfish, and she's made her daughter entitled and selfish. 2 years ago, my other cousin, Linda's sister, Lily, got married, and Carrie ruined the wedding by throwing a tantrum and destroying the cake because she was jealous that Lily's daughter was the flower girl. Linda recently called me up to talk and brought up child-free weddings and how terrible they are. Her invitation said nothing about a child-free wedding. It had her and her husband's names on it and no +1 or anything to indicate Carrie could come. I told her I wasn't having a child-free wedding. Carrie wasn't invited because of what happened at Lily's wedding. I don't want a repeat of Carrie seeing she's not the flower girl and throwing another fit. Linda's since gotten all of her friends and the few people in the family who take her side to bombard me, my fiance, and my family with text about how selfish we are for purposefully excluding one child. At the same time, everyone else can bring their kids. Edit. Carrie's a tween and was 2 years younger during Lily's wedding. My family is very big on family is everything, family first, and respect your elders. If I'd not invited Linda and her husband at all, the storm would be much bigger, and the majority of my family would be calling me to tell me to invite her. Family is everything, but they're over there bombarding you and calling you all selfish? Your family too. Do they want your wedding ruined? Not the idiot, but uninvite anyone that complained. For real. Excise all this BS. I've never been around anyone who acts like this, and I'm 40. So true. I mean, a kid smashing a wedding cake because they weren't the flower girl? It's actually wild. My mother would have ended me if I had done something like that. And she was a gentle parent before the concept really existed. Carrie was a tween when she threw her fit, old enough to know better. So she's almost a young teen now, with extra fun hormones raging through her system. Be prepared that she may bring Carrie along anyway. In my opinion, you better uninvite her if she's so unhappy about this arrangement. Ugh, family can be entirely overrated. Like, a good family is great when everyone gets along, looks out for each other, and genuinely likes each other. Awesome, love to see it. But you very rarely see it. Half the time it's a bunch of idiots you wouldn't hang out with if you had a choice. I've been married to Chris for 10 years. Before me, he was married to Lacey, 8, but they had been together since high school. They have 4 kids. Chris and I have 2. Lacey hated me. It was beyond our personalities. I think she was bitter over being divorced and seeing the man who she had been with since she was 16 move on, but that's her problem, not mine. We've gotten into it a few times. I'm not apologizing to her because I'm happy, and she's not. Chris and Lacey's youngest son, Jacob, was diagnosed with stage 3 lymphoma and needed a bone marrow transplant. Unfortunately, no one in his family was a match. I also got tested and was a match. Lacey actually asked me if I was going to donate like I'm some kind of witch. Of course I donated, and Jacob is in remission as of this year and is your average young teen kid. Lacey has started to come around to me because she knows what I did for Jacob. That's her favorite son. It's bizarre to have her ask me how I'm doing or send me random flowers. The truth is that I don't want to be friends with her. The damage has been done between us, and my life is peaceful without her. I'd do what I did a million more times if I had to. No need to shower me with accolades. Just leave me alone. That's exactly what I told her. She told me that what I said was the most hurtful thing anyone has ever said or done to her. My husband said I should apologize, but I refuse to apologize for setting up boundaries with someone I can't stand. Not the idiot. You never owe anyone your friendship. As long as you treat her politely, even if it is a distant politeness, whenever your paths cross, you have fulfilled your social obligation. And I'd be curious why your husband thinks you owe her an apology for establishing a legitimate boundary. Yeah, tell her. I had to literally save your child's life, which, by the way, I did not do for you. But I didn't deserve your hatred for all those years. And your decision that now I'm good enough doesn't magically undo how you treated me when you thought I wasn't good enough. You owe me years' worth of apologies and attempts to make it up to me. But the best way for you to start making it up to me is to leave me alone. The fact that you refuse to do that and instead try to make me feel bad for you indicates that you aren't actually sorry for how you treated me. And if you don't regret what you did, what are we even talking about? The best thanks she can give is to leave you alone, but she couldn't even do that. The woman is embarrassed for her own behavior toward the woman who literally saved her son's life. Her brain is scrambling for a way to get things back to normal, where she can be the victim and you're the villain again. Hence her dramatic reaction to your reasonable, "we don't have to be friends" line in the sand. And the part she's likely finding difficult to reconcile is that you did the selfless thing, and you're still being selfless about it by not lording your good deed over her. That's her problem. Imagine you spend all these years likely venting to your friends and family about how horrible your ex's new wife is, and then they save your child's life and ask for nothing in return. Kinda makes you look like the idiot, doesn't it? OP, enjoy your boundaries and your life. I'm a single father to Michael, a tween. My son is not who you would typically imagine when envisioning a preteen boy. He's a fashionista, very into makeup. His friends are all girls, and he won't touch sports with a 10-foot pole. And honestly, who cares? He's happy and staying out of trouble. I think that's all that matters. Michael's mother, Daniela, does not like a lot of Michael's interest. She doesn't say it outright, but she does say some passive-aggressive things, like how Michael shouldn't have so many female friends at this age, or criticizing me for supporting more of his feminine interest. As I mentioned earlier, Michael is a tween. Daniela used to throw a party inviting Michael's class, but Michael just finished 6th grade, so that isn't an option anymore, like it was in elementary school. Michael told me that he wanted to go see the Barbie movie with his friends, but that his mom kept insisting she didn't want him to go. So he told her he didn't want a birthday party anymore. I know I may be an idiot for this, but I took Michael and his friends and deliberately didn't tell Daniela about it. Michael and his friends all had a blast. As I mentioned earlier, Michael is very into makeup, so I got him a Sephora gift card for his main present since he loves to go there, and I know I probably wouldn't pick out the right thing. Daniela called me a few days ago because she saw the Sephora gift card after Michael pulled out his wallet for something. Michael was honest about the movie's birthday and the gift card when Daniela asked him about it. Daniela said we're supposed to be a team in parenting Michael and accused me of sending mixed messages as a way to spite her by making things with Michael harder for her. She ended up getting family members and even a few of our mutual friends involved, and most of them are not on my side. They said there's nothing wrong with Daniela wanting Michael to branch out with more masculine interest, and they were concerned as Michael has had issues with kids at school wanting to be stupid, and even occasional adults wanting to make immature comments. Anytime I hear about a bullying issue, I talk to Michael's school and have it shut down. I haven't heard about any issues from Michael in a while. I've always told Michael that if he's true to himself, he'll meet good people and find his place. These friends and family members accuse me of living in fantasy land because as much as we say just to be yourself and ignore bullies, Michael's starting 7th grade and bullying will only get worse as the kids become older and stronger, and I'm failing to prepare Michael for a professional world that will not be as open-minded. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Mom doesn't get to play the "we're a parenting team" card when she's parenting her fantasy of your child. He's into makeup. He wanted to see Barbie. That's the son you've got. Daniela can have another baby if she wants to try for one with more masculine interest. Props for supporting your kid. Unfortunately, you are co-parenting with one of your son's bullies. By suggesting that he's less than for not having the right friends or interest, it's belittling him. You are the parent who nurtures him as he comes, and that's the most powerful attribute in a parent imaginable. Keep up the great work. I see why she's your ex.